Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Overclock Showcase. We're on to the final Gen 3. Well, yeah, the final Gen 3 secondary Overclock of the first round. Let's say, making me realise when I say things like that, makes me realise how long this series is going to be overall. Especially given that I'm going to be doing something else again after this episode that will probably take longer than a week. So it's going to be another sort of a wedge. I'll explain that at the end of the video. Don't worry. Actually, I'll briefly explain it now. The next video in this slot will hopefully, because I don't know how it's really going to go, because it's going to be an interesting recording process. It will hopefully be me true soloing the hardest mission in the game, and the hardest mission with no upgrades. The hardest mission in the game is of course nebulous, but it is a double warning mission with all hazard 5+ factors turned up maximum. No upgrades on anything. That includes no perks, no upgrades on your tools, and no boss co. That's true solo. So yeah, look forward to that and the pain that I have to go through to achieve it. But I think I need a little bit of variety. But for now, I'm happy to end this sort of tenure, or you can see they've got sort of set up for it. Anyway, I'm happy to end this tenure of Overclock Showcase on a high, on an Overclock that I have a lot of fondness for, which is of course efficiency tweaks for the shard diffractor. It's a very simple overclock. All it does is increase ammo and magazine capacity. It increases the ammo by 50 and magazine capacity by 25. Is that correct? Hold on, that's not a good thing to use. Yeah, so 50 and 25. So it's only 75 total ammo. But I really like this overclock, and I think there's a reason why it has a lot of standing. It's weird when you think about the fact that it's the only clean overclock, and that's actually one of its biggest strengths, because it's something that is giving you, even if they're small, it's giving you tangible benefits for no downsides, unlike every other overclock. Some people will argue that overdrive boosters are cleaning the skies. I say, you're stupid. This overclock is bad. I really don't like it. I think it's terrible. I think efficiency tweaks kind of completely blows it out of the water. And I honestly think you could still be better off using automated beam controller over it as well. But all of these other overclocks, as good as they are, and sometimes they do leave the shard diffractor relatively intact, there's still a downside. Like volatile impact mixture, for example. It adds an insanely strong crowd control and like crowd clearing component with like the damage over time from the magma. And it doesn't make the main beam any worse at dealing single target damage either. But it does still reduce ammo, where with efficiency tweaks, we don't lose any ammo and we actually gain some. So there's actually a 125 ammo difference between these two overclocks. So yeah, I think there's something to be said about that. And that makes efficiency tweaks really good at just playing with what the shard diffractor can do as a base weapon, which is something that all the other overclocks kind of change. I think feedback loop plays into how the weapon works at base as long as you go down the AoE route, or AoE route if you're American and wrong. Overdrive booster, no, it doesn't. I was about to say something that would not be true. But efficiency tweaks allows you to go down either route, I think, with pretty considerable efficiency and effectiveness. Maybe more effectiveness than efficiency, because the shard diffractor is, even though it's got a big number there, it is an ammo-hungry weapon. In both the builds I'm going to be showing you today, even though they differ in how much ammo we have. The first build, some of you might recognise from, if you're a loyal fan, very loyal, from a build called Robot Killer back in the build showcase days. And it is actually entire, as far as I know, it's 100% the same as it was back then. I haven't even changed the look. This guy has looked exactly the same. He hasn't it's like those yearbook photos, where it's like the professor who had like the same yearbook photo for like 50 years. It's like that. So that's just not going to change. I actually did have, that's not true. I had him be purple for like a few months, but it's like, maybe he was just ill or something, I don't know. Because this guy's meant to look like this. This is the look, you know. It's like Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible Fallout stuff. This is the look that you should stick with, you know. But yeah, this is an efficiency tweak shard diffractor built for single target damage. Although we're not taking damage in tier 1. And I don't have the strongest reason for that necessarily. It's really just based on feel. And I have experimented with both. The reason why I prefer to have it this way is because, yes, this is our single target weapon, but it's also our trash clearing weapon. And the less damage we do, but the more ammo we have, as long as they balance out. And as far as I know, you do technically have more total damage by taking ammo. we are going to be more efficient and sort of controlled when it comes to killing things like grunts, for example, or low tier Macteras. Can be much more precise. It's a very small difference. It's only a 2 damage difference, but obviously we do lose 100 ammo. I would rather have the more ammo and the slightly more control over how much ammo I use. I feel like ammo makes a lot more sense here than this thing. Also, our rate of fire is so quick. We deal with threats pretty much as quickly as we need to, and in some cases, you could bring up the concept of disrupting enemy attacks. Well, the Shard Diffractor is never going to disrupt an enemy attack. The only way it can do that actually is with Galactic Catalyst and from actually destroying a platform, which triggers a fear effect. Luckily, we have our smart rifle to trigger fear, which will help interrupt enemy attacks that we're attacking. I will say the strongest case for taking damage is the fact that we use the electrocution bonus from the tier 5 hydrogen rupturing. So this is me explaining this choice. This makes sense. I'm sure you can understand why you use hydrogen rupturing for single target. It gives you bonus damage against electrocuted enemies, and these things don't give you any more damage. These are the two options. So we get our electricity from the smart rifle, but the argument that I think is actually fair to make, and it's the other version of this build that I will touch on, is sometimes the electrocution effect runs out before you kill an enemy. This is obviously going to happen for some cases. It's obviously going to happen with dreadnoughts and oppressors and things like that, obviously, right? But Praetorian, a Warden even, it would be nice if electricity lasted long enough to actually deal with them. And that's why I do want to bring up the other version, but it's not what I'm going to be using, and that is Microconductor add-on, which is, of course, the reworked turret arc. Now, platform arc, but what's both, actually. This works very well, and Microconductor add-on is actually an incredible overclock. I always forget that they basically added 2 new overclocks for the Stubby for Season 5, except like the actual new one is pretty whack, but the reworked one, the reworked turret arc, the thing that used to be terrible, is actually awesome now. It's really, really incredible. And it works well for this build, but I do like the flexibility that we gain from Smart Rifle. We get fear, we get the ability to target aerial enemies much more reasonably. Not that you can't with the Stubby, especially if you take armor breaking, but Smart Rifle doesn't care. Anyway, weak point damage. I'm not even going to bother explaining. You should know by now. Magazine size, and that's a pretty simple thing. I don't find the recharge time to really be a problem. The only time I find myself wanting more recharge time, and I'm not even sure that I actually use it, is here. I do. The Plastic Catalyst, because Plastic Catalyst increases the recharge time, I think by quite a bit. No, okay, not double, but still by quite a bit. By 50%, actually. So I just prefer to have a bit more ammo, basically. A bit more ammo and a bit more magazine size, because we are lasering down enemies, and this makes us more likely to be able to fit that enemy's death within our magazine, basically. If that makes any sense. Tier 4 high intensity heating. Now, obviously, you can definitely argue this one doesn't make sense. You could argue that. But this is the robot killer after all. You've got to have the fire. And also, the reason why I think this makes more sense, actually, than the other way around, is that the armor breaking does occur. The armor breaking does occur within the AoE. The heating of the Shard Diffractor only applies to the thing you're hitting directly anyway. So it makes more sense for a single target build. Other things quickly, well, actually there's not much else to say. I'm taking shredders because robot cannibalism, I guess, but also it does cover some of the weaknesses. This build doesn't really flourish when you're getting swarmed necessarily. It's great against small groups of enemies and tanky enemies. But swarms closing in from every angle are a bit overwhelming for AoE options, and shredder grenade, sorry, kind of helps us take the edge off. But our smart rifle is still our main source of AoE and set up for electrocution damage bonuses from the Shard Diffractor. That's why we take explosive chemical rounds, because first of all, that gives us our AoE, and it is strong overclock. I've kind of been really down on it for most of its existence, but I think mainly paired with the Shard Diffractor, it's really good. Even outside of that, it's still fine. I just don't like how ammo hungry it is when it's not paired with a high ammo secondary, which is just a shard diffractor, basically. But it gives us our AoE, and it neatly lines up with what we need for execution, which is 3 locks on an enemy. And as such, we're going to take lock on rate. That makes perfect sense. Macro lens and ammo. Well, ammo is obvious, not going to explain that. Macro lens helps us make sure we only... It's not always perfect, but it's the easiest way to ensure that we are, as often as possible, only locking onto one target, which allows us to be more efficient and more quickly build up the locks we need just to trigger an explosion. We don't need more excess. We don't want locks that aren't triggering an explosion, and macro lens helps make sure, as often as possible, that we're not targeting more than one enemy. Tier 3 electrochemical round. Now, you could easily take super blow through, especially given that it's free. It's actually not a bad idea at all. But sometimes there will be cases where we repeat against a single enemy with the smart rifle. It's not super common, but I think overall I do prefer electrochemical rounds. Blow through is fine, though. It's fine. Anyway, so that's the build. That is the Robokiller build. No less going to be tested on an industrial sabotage with elite threat as well. That's kind of just to help demonstrate a bit more against sort of other types of single targets, like tanky enemies. No Hazard 5+ features on this one, though. It's industrial sabotage with elite threat. I think as long as I get through this, I'm proving enough, you know? And with what I have to come, I don't think I need... With what I've already experienced from doing the... I don't know what you would actually call it. The Masochist Challenge, I guess. There's no practicing for that, other than just doing it. So I'm not missing out by taking the edge off here. Obviously, I'm not going to go below Hazard 5, but I'm not like weakening myself by playing a slightly lower difficulty than the hardest thing in the game. You know, can't be some slack, guys. Come on. Anyway, it's taking a while to load, isn't it? Here we are. So as usual, I will try and cut between combat, but industrial sabotage can be pretty consistent early on with sort of running into enemies, especially with sort of robot enemies, and I think that's kind of something I do want to sort of re-showcase almost. But does this thing? No, I wasn't sure if it locked onto loot bugs or not. I don't know. I should know. I was fairly confident that it didn't, but I wasn't 100% sure. I mean, that's kind of arbitrary at this point. I'm not 100% sure about anything. Anyway, yeah, like I said, early on in industrial sabotages, they're pretty consistent with sort of enemies, especially sort of turrets and stuff, but they're not here yet, or at least I haven't found them yet, so... Right, so, I might have sort of messed up in some way on a personal level, because I forgot to... Basically, I don't have Bosco with me, which is far from intentional, you can imagine. Yes, yeah, okay, so these turrets are a little bit nebulous in how you should really go about it, because you do a decent amount of damage with the... that one should have just finished off. I don't know why I bothered with that. But you already do a decent amount of damage with the explosion anyway, when you electrocute them, so it's sort of like... Maybe I should just shoot with the shard diffractor by itself. I don't know. Also, yeah, there's jetty boots there. Not going to use them, even though I don't have Bosco. And yeah, I am going to continue the mission without Bosco. That's not a good idea, by the way. I shouldn't be doing it this way. But I'm living with my mistake, basically. And I am supposedly quite confident in this build. Or at least so I've told myself. So let's actually put it to the test, I suppose. I won't do the same for the next build, because it's just pointless. Like, I'm just being mean to myself for no reason by doing that. But, anyway. Whoa, okay, I think it's already one of the kind of hordes you want to take the edge off on. Right, I need a place to use turrets. Okay, it's probably pretty safe. Well, the funny thing about elite enemies is that if a lot of you don't really know, elite enemies are actually kind of frail. Weird. They're always faster and stronger and bigger, but they oftentimes are also weirdly more frail than their counterparts and their non-elite counterparts. It's just a weird fact of life, I suppose. And I know it almost sounds wrong, but I'm like 98% confident that an elite Praetorian is actually more fragile than a normal Praetorian. It doesn't sound like it should be the case. I don't think it should be the case, but it definitely seems to be the case. Don't question me. Or do, because I am the one telling you this. And I don't have a source. So maybe you actually can question me on this. Anyway, already seen a bit of decent single target damage though. Although I guess I kind of panicked with that build. I am internally, I think, panicking more than I realise because of the no boss go thing. And that build kind of flustered, that swarm, that horde kind of flustered me because while this build I think is overall pretty efficient, it does not thrive on playing aggressively, because the more aggressively you play, the more likely you are to waste smart rifle ammo, which is really detrimental to our overall AoE efficiency. That is very detrimental. Anyway, so I'm going to try. Now the danger of the danger of doing this too. I should probably actually not do that because I kind of already knew this. But the danger of trying to ignite a repulsion turret is actually the danger of all of them is just they're so oppressive. And the positioning really flustering. No, I don't want that. Swarmers. Yeah, turrets. It's not those turrets really. It's more so patrol bots and sniper turrets. Luckily, I am very confident about the sniper turret thing. That's going to be, if you haven't seen it before, you're going to be impressed, I think. Because this thing just works magic against sniper turrets. Right, because I already damaged that one with my rifle. But yeah, the chance of you hitting, setting a repulsion turret on fire before it knocks, not before it knocks you out of the way, but before it gets in the way of your shot, your shooting, is very high. You're not going to destroy it before. You're not going to ignite it before that happens. First turret though, you usually can ignite it before it starts shooting you. Or at least just before the projectiles reach you, and then you can kind of just strafe. It usually works. It usually works. I want to punch the guy in R&D who programmed Molly. If I'm not mistaken, you do start igniting them just before they fully, or they actually become operational. It's lovely. There you go. Already you can see our smart rifle ammo is below half. And I don't know what to say about that, but I don't think, this is going to sound weird, I don't think that's on me. I've kind of always had this criticism of explosive chemical rounds. And I know I'm doing something wrong in that there've already been a couple instances in this mission where I've locked onto enemies that haven't triggered explosions, right? But it's been unavoidable in such a way where it's like, I'm not going to not shoot here because there's so many enemies around, I've got to kill some of them. The enemies, they are too densely packed to only lock onto one. And I'm using macro lens, so I don't... I don't know how to square with that against the constant praise that the Overclock gets. Like it's so like demanding, like ammo hunger. Forgot that I paused in the middle of a bunch of bullshit. Hold on. Wait, I just realised this is death. Forgot what I'm doing. Forgot the horror I've inflicted upon myself. Okay, maybe we don't need more damage on the shard diffractor. Anyway, it's still just bad. I will have to go and put down one of my I guess final fight resupplies next to the caretaker, because I'm going to need a resupply before the first hacking pod, before hacking the first power station. That is obvious. Let's I mean, this one's actually probably going to be somewhere out here, actually, out of the way. Turrets. I mean, surely there's more than one in here. Wait, there isn't. Oh, no, there is. The first time over that before. What the fuck? If that had killed me, I would be very upset. I tell you what's going to kill me. Everything else coming down here. Yep, it's death. Sorry, everyone. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to, well, there won't be an industrial sabotage of elite threat. So, I'm just going to start another one. And basically just skip to that point. Not that I really reached a particular milestone in the mission, to be honest, but I'm going to show you how important Bosco is. Also, yeah, and how bad that masochist challenge is going to be. I didn't actually... Not my earphone out. I get thrown off too easily. Ridiculous. But I forgot to turn Bosco back on. I forgot to bring Bosco again. My earphone out. I have been sick, though, recently. Does that make it better? Get ready! So this will be the first mission of the video, actually, description-wise, but I'm still going to leave it in because it was such a good intro. I'm sure it was worth keeping. There we go. To get Bosco to mine a thing now as well. All right. So I'm just going to do. I know I didn't do like much, but dude, just shut up. I'm even finding mission. Okay. I'm even finding mission control distracting. So I guess I'm just gonna get to the point where I'm in the first room with a hacking power station in it. You know what? Let's actually get some reliable turret killing in here. Actually, that stronger power attack is actually going a long way for those turrets. Oh, and a horde as well. Right, what kind of horde are we dealing with here? This is going to be the kind of thing I need to do. Also, Jade boost again. I will. This is kind of what the shredders are for. Also, it's supposed to be chemical ground sphere effect. It's not the most consistent thing in the world. You'll notice, but yeah. Still not going to take the jetty boots. It's nice that they showed up again. Okay, move on. Look at the range on this sniper turret. Look at that. Look, it's gone. What the fuck? Okay. Bosco. Now I regret bringing him. What the fuck? You have sniped your last oh, 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 the woes, the troubles, they plague me. My head is filled with darkness. There, the doom of 1,000 kingdoms. Anyway, we are pretty much there. I can just go into this room and be at the point I was last mission. Bulk detonator. My god. Kill it. Will the Praetorian hit us? I will never not be hit by Praetorian's breath. It's a mathematical impossibility.
What's the death part of the Praetorian?
The thing about this is, we run out of weak points so quickly that we actually lose our best source of damage quickly. Okay, there we go. I think that was fairly efficient. We combined everything we had except shredders. I'm actually glad I didn't use the shredders on that, because they would have just sort of, they wouldn't have trivialized it, but they would have been a bit of extra damage that you're not going to have that reliably. You only have 4 of them. The chance that you might have used them before the biggest threat in the mission shows up is not low. So there you go. We can deal bulk detonators. I'm sure you'd expect that from a build that has a single target focus. Must be more. Once again, there must be more sniper turrets. The one. Okay, there is more than one. But they are so trivial with this, with like just a shard diffractor that just does what this is doing. So what is this position? Awful. I mean, I can work with it, but it sucks. Anyway, I'll set that up now. Our first patrol bot. It's not going to get set on fire because of all the other damage that we're doing to it, but you can hit the head. You don't need to set it on fire, really. So that works pretty well. Another one just spawned. Once again, not going to be set on fire. In fact, if you want to set it on fire, you wouldn't typically use the shard diffractor. You wouldn't typically use the smart rifle beforehand. Would you, the shard diffractor? Stalker. So really, something that the shredders are for is to take the edge off during these kind of events or encounters, where you just don't need the bullshit that comes from the time encounter, the amount of like just shit it throws at you. Fucking idiot. Aside from fawns. Had a brain-eating amoeba once. Poor fella died of hungry. Okay, let's just dive in. What the fuck do you mean? There we go. I'm gonna need to resupply like pretty much straight as soon as this is done, but I'm just gonna dive in. I might rely on the shredders a little bit though. Make sure I don't just collapse. Sorry.
Hacking pod successfully connected to the power station. Start the hacking drone when you're ready.
Reloading.
The hacking drone is hacking away. Keep it safe, team.
Well, that charge got eviscerated. Wow. Well done, everyone.
Keep the hacking drone secure.
Think you can kill me? Well, think again.
Also, I hope the patrol bots are actually proving what this thing can do against a weak point as well. I mean, what I like about efficiency tweaks, it just shows what the shard diffractor can do by itself. All the other overclocks add some mechanic or some alteration to how it works that isn't true to the shard diffractor. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that it's sort of a template, like a base for these really interesting overclocks, but I like that we do have this very just sort of decent clean that just lets it be itself, and itself is pretty good. I like that. It was wholesome. Anyway, I'm probably going to go scrounge some nitra and willow caps and stuff before doing the next outstation. I think I just fell down the supply pod hole. Oh my god, I didn't... Did I actually have that? I thought I was on full health. What the hell? Could this me? Why would we let this happen? Idiot. Fool. Bitch. Lovely. Yep, that was worth showing you. I feel like I should be able to dodge tri-jaws better than that. I'm sorry. I failed you. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Well, of course the stalker's still alive. And now it's going to take ages to show up for no reason. Oh, no.
Give me some light right here.
Anyway, can I just talk about explosive chemical rounds again and how confused it makes me? Because as much as I think it is okay in this build, I've literally heard the take from someone I respect. Actually, not someone I respect. The opposite, not the opposite, but it's just I remember it being in the overclock tier list with waste and lazy maybe. These are waste's words, I believe, not lazy maybe. I don't respect what waste has to say. No animosity there, just don't hold it in high regard. But I think he literally said that he doesn't understand how it hasn't been like nerfed, how it's allowed in the game. Like, because explosive chemical rounds is so strong. Like, am I really missing that much that I like? Because I think that is just a dumb thing to say. I think that makes no sense. Thinking it's like, I think thinking explosive chemical rounds is overpowered is such a stupid opinion, but it doesn't seem to be like unpopular either. It seems to be maybe even agreed upon, and I cannot conceptualize that. So clearly I'm missing something, but I don't know what it could possibly be. I'm sure I've used it enough to understand how it works. Yeah, I think saying that it shouldn't even be in the game still in the way that it is like, that's just dumb. It is nowhere near that strong. I think neurotoxin still kind of is, if only it wasn't resisted by quite a few enemy types at this point. I think ultramagnetic coils is a bit ridiculous, but most of the chemical rounds, I don't think so, mate. Quite low counts of sniper turrets, to be honest. Yeah, it's only been 2 in each room. Right, we're gonna set this guy on fire, basically. Yep, it's not worth it. Really, that's a flamethrower ordeal. Setting patrol bots on fire. Or, conductive thermals with boomstick. God, I want to use that right now. That's good shit, man. Conductive thermals is such a good overclock. All right. Let's go.
We have connection. Hacking pod online. Stop the hacking when you're ready.
Power
Oh, look at them.
station.
Look at them go.
Go, come here.
Hack begun. It's noisy business and is attracting the bugs. Guard the hacking pod. We need some pest control on the hacking drone.
Not ready. There's the bear.
Okay, bring in the shredders. Fight the shredders.
Hacking drone under attack.
This is the one. This is the kind of build where I could actually gain something from showing it with like tough enemies lined up a little bit, but I don't really have the stones for that. I'm a coward, frankly. What can I say? That's why I'm doing. That's why I'm gonna be doing a video where I beat a Hazard 5+8 mission with double warning and no upgrades, no boss code. I'm a coward.
Back to the vault and disable the force.
Maybe I'm a coward. Maybe I'm just doing it because insecurity. I don't feel like I have to prove myself. I might still be a coward. You never know.
That warm. I was born.
All right. Well, it took a time, I suppose. What about the two patrol bots that spawn? Once you've done the hack.
I made a platform.
Not worth it.
Got room for more.
Oh, neither of them were hackable. That's not. It feels like oftentimes one of those always becomes hackable. It's not. You know what the funny thing is? As good as shredders are, they almost become useless during caretaker fight. Not because there's nothing that automated things can do. Turrets can take care of other turrets and shredders and patrol bots. But shredders are such overkill for the amount that the caretaker spawns at any given time. I just don't understand why automated stuff
Moving battery from the force field projector.
doesn't feel deliberate that most like automated AI allies can't attack the caretaker really. And they can't attack the vents or the eye. And
Force field down.
they can barely attack the appendages. I think the turrets do attack the appendages. I think that's the point of this setup, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Which are not something that we need to worry about. We could use either weapon for this sort of stuff, the vents and the appendages. I might use this rifle a little bit at first.
Shoot the open vent.
Honestly, the best way to do this would be to make sure the appendages are really low. And then, so I'll literally just use shredders literally just to kill that patrol bot. Like, that's how much I value the shredder grenade in the fight. At least that's its purpose, as far as I'm concerned. He failed to kill it as well. Pretty abysmal. Yeah. Well, they're still going. Well, points for trying, I guess. Right, there you go. I don't know if anyone else like sort of notices and keeps like, sort of just, you know, audibly tracks the sort of liquid sound that the shard diffractor produces.
Getting more ammo. Shredders are coming out of the caretaker. Step lively, lads. Shredder thrown down. Destroy the vent.
Like that. Yeah. Audio. Yeah, laddie. There we go. Let's go. Oh, they actually can shoot the eye, but they're failing. Great. Love that.
Focus fire on the caretaker's eye. Who's a mean, lean, killing machine now?
Let me guess. Faith bombs. I wasn't wrong. I was the opposite of wrong. I was right. Oh my god.
Phase bombs, watch out!
Right, this is the kind of point where you can kind of just ammo dump pretty justifiably. And it's where our increased magazine capacity come in handy. But I do keep getting interrupted whenever I try and do that. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to happen eventually, I think. But these kind of builds I like. Not just for the caretaker, but the caretaker is a good example. You just know exactly what to do against every part of the fight, basically. You're never left without an option. As long as you have ammo and everything. Like, everything applies, everything has a purpose, and you're strong as well.
One platform ready to use. Shoot the caretaker's big glowing eye. Oh yeah. Big shot. I'm ready.
There you go. Caretaker dead. I hope you can see the single target of this thing, and it's how good it is against robots. I mean, the thing is, it's actually mainly sniper turrets, which is a little bit abstract, really, because while it is patrol bots, it's only because it's got the good single target damage and good weak point damage. That's kind of the only reason it's good against those. But I still feel a robot killers, you know, a robot racist DNA is in this build, I think. Much like a bug racer's DNA is in the next build. Bug racers. What am I talking about? Anyway, yeah, single target shot diffractor efficiency tweaks. It's solid. You can go with either Stubby or the shard diffractor. You can go with the Stubby or the smart rifle. The reason I want the smart rifle is only because going with the Stubby in the next build. And I prefer that build that way compared to how I prefer. Even though I do like using microconductor add-on, I would rather keep the next build the way it is than this one. Or, you know, also, this is more so the original version of this build that I made way back when, anyway. Kind of how I discovered that I liked efficiency tweaks, and then the next build came after, although the next build is the favoured one. Voila. Okay, so the second build is efficiency tweaks built for AoE. It's a simple solution, a simple methodology from problem to solution. It's take the upgrades that make sense for that. Except one, we'll get to it. The tier 4. Tier 1, obviously. I'm gonna go for lovely impact splash area damage. Now, you can make the same argument as I made for sort of the control of the damage, as in the first build. Except, in this case, we are looking for speed, and killing a group of grunts quicker than we could be killing them is a worthy, I think. So I'm going to take Impact Splash. It just makes the whole thing feel a bit better. I think it changes the Swarmer breakpoint as well. Let's find out. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. It actually technically does. On Hazard 5, the Swarmer health is 14.4. And we normally deal 7 area damage. So, yeah, it technically does change that breakpoint. Really dumb. Anyway, now that's out the way. Tier 2, radius, obviously. And it goes from 1.3 to 2.1. It's actually a big increase. 2.1 is not to be scoffed at. Think about it. That's 4.2 meters all the way across. It's big. Yeah, 4.2 is big. Just an obvious pick. Tier 3, I see no reason to not take the little bit of extra ammo from that. It's also 50. It's not a small amount of ammo. Not tiny. Anyway, so yeah, nitrogen vaporizer. It's a bit abstract. It's kind of there just to really show the difference. Although there has I have created a reason to use it. Now I am only 50%, 60, 70% sure that it breaks armor in the AoE. Which is not 100%. It's 30% away from 100%. But I'm fairly confident. I'm going to try and find out, see if Carl actually clarifies this. Diffractor. No, it doesn't. Wow, that is... I feel like there could be more information than that, Carl. Anyway, so I'm pretty sure that it does do armor breaking in the AoE, so that's at least something that it's doing that, where, you know, high intensity heating is only applied to the direct target. We also do need armor breaking for what I'm doing with the Prime. So I do have some justification for it, but you probably could use high intensity heating. It could actually make it better because it gives it that single target ignition capability. It's just not really what the weapon's for in this case, so I don't feel bad about taking nitrogen vaporizer, which I wouldn't normally. It's like this is like the only time that I use it. I'm pretty sure even plastic catalyst I use. Oh no, I do actually. Okay, whatever. Surprise. And then tier 5, biomass converter. Now, Dazzler module would be good. It gives you some crowd control. It's actually quite a lot of slowdown. It is. It's actually really strong. But biomass converter helps us go a lot further with the ammo that we have. We don't actually have loads. Even though this gives us ammo, we don't have loads. And this just helps it go a lot further. It's biomass converter for me. Dazzler module definitely has standing. It's what I use with I'll use it with plastic catalyst because plastic catalyst is so strong, but also gains a lot from slowing down the enemies around it. But in this case, I feel comfortable with biomass converter. Feels good. Plasma burster it's just really good at everything. So I think it's a solid grenade. It's just gonna kill stuff, kill like squishy enemies, fear big enemies, hit a lot of stuff at once. Good. Stubby, Team Refire booster built for DPS basically. Very simple. All damage, recoil. Electrocution though. Now this is a weird one. Magazine capacity in tier 5 because I find the accuracy pretty easy to control. So having the bullets needed to kill a Praetorian in one mag is actually quite nice. Why conductive bullets? Big reason is Praetorians and oppressors. Basically it means that you don't need to be hitting the weak point. Okay, actually, I shouldn't have said that. Oppressors are actually... There's actually no reason to not use hollow point bullets if you want to do well against oppressors. But conductive bullets is actually mainly for Praetorians, where their armor is going to be broken by the Shard Diffractor, so we don't need to only go for the weak point to do decent damage to them. I find conductive bullets to actually feel pretty good. Obviously, we don't electrocute like on every shot. We have the base 25% chance, but it still feels pretty good. This used to use hardened rounds, but after I realised that we can just use the Shard Diffractor to break armor, made more sense to actually go down this route. It feels good against certain things as well. It's actually, well, as long as the target is electrocuted, the amount of damage you're doing is no different than hollow point bullets as long as you're hitting a weak point. Still plus 25% damage. But you can also potentially still miss the weak point and do the same damage. So yeah, it's just overall, this is a build that thrives on aggression. It's not ammo economic by any means. It's still pretty demanding and like uses ammo quite quickly, but it does still thrive on aggression, which is actually why I like it, because I typically do not play games aggressively. I actually find it very difficult to settle into that. The only games I'm able to play aggressively are games where I have worked, where they're my favorite games like ever, and I'm able to work up to this point of being comfortable on the hardest difficulty because I know the game well enough where I can play around what it's doing quick enough where the way I'm playing could be called aggressive, and that's literally Halo, Doom, and Hades. Those are pretty much the only games where I can really play aggressively, and maybe Titanfall 2 as well. And I would say Deep Rock, but I have not found that you need to have an aggressively minded build to do well on Hazard 5. Whereas other games I mentioned, even where they do have like a build component like Hades, I think aggression is still sort of infused in doing well on the highest difficulties. And it was only by being a fucking nut job that I was able to do 32 heat Hades and actually finish it, and that was with extreme measures as well. And yeah, it's not 64 heat, but 64 heat is like basically mathematically impossible. Is it still the case that only one person has ever done that? Also in this build, we can kind of, when it comes to things like grunts, we can kind of use either weapon to just sort of pick them off. Shard Diffractor actually works quite well because of biomass converter. We actually use, less ammo on it than you realise. So it just kind of works. It just works. Much like the Oblivion remake will just work. Hopefully. that a prospector? It is. Oh, is that a nemesis?
Ronnie, come and get some.
I'm not sure. I assume it's I'm meant to see nemesis. Yes, prospector. Okay. How do you do that?
I need support.
Okay.
Loot bug looted. I should call. Flares are recharging.
I'm pretty sure web splitters we can kill with the same ammo that we get back from biomass converter, which means they're essentially free to kill. Pretty sure. They are the weakest enemy that activates biomass converter. Because if you didn't know how biomass converter works, you don't get ammo back from killing swarmers. And I kind of disagree with that. I think biomass converter should be done where it's just based on the type of enemy. So swarmers should give back 1 ammo. Medium or tiny enemies should give 1 ammo. Medium enemies should give 3 ammo. And big enemies should give 5 ammo. The way I see it. Oh yeah. Feel the storm coming.
When the damn bugs start to feel like family, you know it's time to quit then. Platform up. Eat blood. Mine.
Oh. Okay. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Lifted warden is his. Help me mind this.
Finding like things like Mactera harder and harder to fight recently. I hope you see what I'm getting at here. This is pretty good stuff. Get an egg. Why not? Why not?
Lock and loaded.
Pardon me. Sorry. Get like an AI like thing that automatically censors burps.
Go. Get to
That'd
work.
be great. Although it'd just be too many. Like most of the video would just be censored.
I called for Molly.
Swarm detected. Get ready. They'll be with you shortly.
I ordered a resupply. Moscow, come here.
Supply pod requisitioned. Launching now. Call up positions. The swarm is here.
Gotta wait for the recharge.
That was almost really dangerous. That Splinter almost pulled me into its into my own plasma burst. Ba 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 ba.
Wave is petering out. Wipe out the rest and get on with it.
Victorian. Weapon. Weapon.
Actually, as much as I like this build, I think I did a build showcase on it. The using that tier 4 upgrade, conductive bullets, it is actually a recent development, as in like 2 days ago, I think, because I'd been using hardened rounds up to this point, and I had a realization that that might be better. I tested it, thought it was better, and now it's fixture. Now it's how the build is. So, and actually, that happens with these quite a lot, where, well, actually, I was about to say it happens quite a lot where one of the builds I'm using is something that's been one of my builds for a long time. It kind of happens in all cases. Sometimes where I have to, oftentimes when I have to come up with a build where I don't really have one for the overclock, or I at least don't have a second one, I'll have to come up with something, and it will go through iterations, and sometimes the last iteration will be like the day before I record. Where I've just used it with one change, and I thought, yep, that's probably the best I can do, and then I just go with it. Anyways, the egg that we just got, it is actually. I was about to say it probably almost definitely isn't. I'll click rate that I'm not going to bother with. Hello. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Fair enough. About the amount of ammo I'd expect to use, really. Oh, I'm going to go prospect and hunting, actually. I'm going to put down both of these turrets. So I have like a place of safety. I'm just going to do that.
One sentry gun ready to be built. Rock and roll. Got no flares ready.
Oh, nice. Oh, watch this. Fucking hell. Hey, I mean, look. When I got the first thing, I just was on a roll after that.
Killing machine now. Go.
Hello, chum.
Robot is now our friend. Weapon ready. Took out a swarmer.
Fuck you, Bosco. I mean, it can't get away. I wouldn't hate if the prospectors could actually escape, like how a hoarder does, a bully hoarder.
Take down
Hello.
the prospector before it gets away.
This build's the shit, man.
Die, ball sack. Here, have some extinction. Get to work.
Big. That's a big gold vein. Thought the patrol bot was actually going to hunt the prospect down from him in there, like properly. Seems I was wrong. Come and kiss me on my hard mouth. I'm feeling romantic. Shit.
May break my bones, but beer will never.
Oh no, I'm in goo.
I'm feeling sweating today.
Why am I moving around like this? Idiot. Why have I put myself in this position? Guess it didn't matter because I'm goated. I'm also not. There's a lot of things I do in these videos that is not good practice playing Deep Rock. I just think it's I can get
Move your tin ass over here and hurry, please.
I can get as
Support fire, please.
help. I can get like ridiculously good at any game, but I will never been tactically minded. And I always have poor survival instincts too in a game because it's just I just don't. I have such a strong separation, or like suspension of this. Not yeah, yeah. Actually, suspension of disbelief is right because I don't get immersed in things really like very easily. Which is why I like stuff that I just find impressive, especially when I'm like watching. That's a very film perspective because that's where it kind of applies. I like films that I find impressive because I always know that I'm watching a film. It's hard for me to get really wrapped up in a game in a way that's like I get super into it and serious about it. Basically, I find it difficult to take games seriously enough to get really good at them. So like even though I've stopped standing to the side, I still ended up getting touched by the Victorian breath. It's just an inevitability. Did I actually pick up the... I did not pick up the data cell. I don't know why. Got attacked by the mother of all Mactera swarm. I mean, how am I meant to fight this with what I've got? Oh, that was poorly placed. Okay. Well, I handled it. Where is that egg? The one I wanted to get. It's that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This was me. Dios mío. Yeah, I mean it's probably radioactive. Got both swarms in the first 2 eggs. I don't know how they meant to sharpen their pickaxes before it goes up. And they carry whetstones.
Well done. R&D will have a field day with this data.
It might. No.
Load up your guns and sharpen your pickaxes. We got an incoming swarm. Hang in there. Supplies are on the way. Swarm! I repeat, swarm!
Oh, was it actually the third egg? I think it's the third egg. Okay. Fine. Yeah, let's try and free a couple. Quick succession. Ow. Ow. Let's get out of here. Yeah, it was a lot shorter than the Industrial Sabotage Ordeal. And I say ordeal because I mean more than just the one Industrial Sabotage mission, because there was more than one. But you might have noticed I kind of let the build speak for itself during a lot of that. And that's because I do like the first one. I've had it for a long time, but this is the better one. This is a really strong build, and it's good eliminations too. It's like it's good against literally everything, which I love. I love a build that is that. Not every build, and even not every good build is good against everything. This one is, and I really like it. So I hope you enjoyed watching me just sort of destroy aliens silently, because I've definitely enjoyed it. Hope you can see some value in this and why you might use efficiency tweaks, because you can get this from feedback loop, kind of, but you're just not as flexible. You have much less ammo, and you've sort of a weird effect to really dedicate to make use of. You don't have to dedicate your sort of, I guess, your bursts much with this overclock at all, really, because you don't lose anything by you don't lose any potential by not firing for like ages, like you have to with feedback loop to really take advantage of the effect. Because efficiency tweaks doesn't have an effect; it's just ammo, and it just helps you just do stuff. I'm stuff, by the way. Anyway, yeah, that was efficiency tweaks. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Build Showcase. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and you want to stay on top of everything to Deep Rock and Road Core. Then also please click the bell. I'm also going to switch to actually, I think I know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch to season weirdly enough. Actually, well, we'll see. I'll switch to season. Actually, it depends on if it's got I've got to 200 on the performance path for season 1, and I said when I did that I would switch to another one, try and get that to 200. But first of all, we got Plague. But oh my god, look at those gold rushes, man. Yeah, we got Plague, and I do like this stuff. There it is as well. But yeah, we got Plague by level 413. And then, you know, we can go to season 4. So I know where this is going. I'm pretty sure. Got infection. Level 285. So let's take a look at season 2. Which, by all means, season 2 should be higher than season 1. Doesn't mean it's at 200 though. It might not be. 300. So, I guess it's going to be season 5. Get that to 200 now. I'm pretty sure I haven't done that already. I'm pretty sure. The video is over, by the way. If you weren't aware. $180, so not long. Not long. I got a lovely double warning challenges. Well, actually, that's perfect for me. That's what's coming next. But before that, well, I'm not going to explain it again. That will just be the next video in this slot. Hopefully, it will take less than a month. But yeah, that was it. But now we choose the next overclock, which will obviously be after that video. But I'm still going to choose it now. We do that through the Wheel of Fortune, so it will be finally back onto the primaries. The minigun. And if you haven't seen this before, how we do this, we number the overclocks from left to right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I use the Wheel of Fortune to choose the overclock. Yeah, it's a bit, can't really see the numbers very well. Anyway, so in this case we actually have it's 2 and 5 are missing, which is Rotary Overdrive and Burning Hell, the ones we've already done. So, and I have no real preference here. I guess Finned Drum Walls is like the most boring one, so I was about to say I shouldn't have opened my mouth, but it's not Finned Drum Walls. It's actually number 8, which is pretty much my favourite minigun overclock. It's Exhaust Vectoring, which I should have on someone already. Yeah, there it is. Actually, I was about to say, oh, it was this guy, but there it is. Although I might be about to take that off because I might use that during the in my next attempt. Actually, I'm going to use the Thunderhead in my next attempt. At the the masochist thing. So yeah, next time, exhaust vectoring on the minigun. Till then, well, that was efficiency tweaks. What's an efficiency tweaks drink? It means oily oaf, really. Not supporter edition. So I think I am going to pick up the current double warning. Looks okay to me. Well, it's not great, but it's a short point extraction. And I'm not beholding myself to picking a particular mission type or length. It's just double warning, has the 5+8, and the other factors I mentioned. Anyway, I'll see you then. I'm going to go record the introduction to that video.